What is up, everyone? How's it going? Look at me coming up here randomly on a Wednesday afternoon. I had a few things I needed to discuss with you guys, so I figured I would come up here live. I am not appearing on camera, as you can tell. And remember last time I did this a few days ago and my mic was all fucked up? I just want to make sure it's all good. I'm going to wait to make sure it's all good on the other side. You guys let me know in the chat, most of you who are here. I don't have that slow Braun Strowman voice, right? No, I don't. Okay, good. We're good to go. So anyway, I was kind of getting ready for my podcast last night, and I just started getting like very, very overwhelmed. I still have a ton of stuff to do for WrestleMania week. I got some videos to finish up and get that all ready for next week. I'm going to be all over YouTube next week, and when I'm looking at the rest of my week right now, I'm busy as hell. I'm going to be working all day today. Tomorrow I'm going to be busy. I'm going to opening day for the San Diego Padres, and then it's Easter weekend at my restaurant. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't think I have time to do a podcast this week. And you know what? I thought it was fine because Raw and SmackDown were kind of lackluster shows. We got a little bit on those shows, but nothing groundbreaking, nothing earth-shattering. And so I figured, you know what? I'll skip this week's podcast because you're going to be getting so much of me next week. And I'll just come up here now and talk for 30 minutes or so about some news that is going around out there. We do have some things to discuss. What took place on Raw and SmackDown, Daniel Bryan's challenge to Owens and Zayn, Hulk Hogan possibly returning as the new GM, The Rock appearing at WrestleMania. We've got some injuries to talk about, Shane McMahon, Charlotte, and a few other things. So you guys can let me know in the chat here. I am looking at it, even though you can't see my face. I will be looking at the chat here. If there's anything else I need to discuss, you guys let me know down below. But don't fear, if you guys still want your GoodMicWork fix, I am going to be sending over TVTrax the audio to his exclusive Q&A. I recorded that a few days ago. I just have a little bit more editing on that to do. I'm going to finish that up tonight when I get home from work and send that over to him. So he will have about an hour-long Q&A up on his channel probably tomorrow or Friday. Maybe Saturday at the latest, but I have a feeling if I send that to him tonight, he's going to upload it right away. So you will have GoodMicWork in podcast form over on Trax's channel. As far as my schedule for next week goes, I start off Sunday, this coming Sunday, with a video for you, and then on Monday, I'll be up here doing a live Raw watch-along. I've got a special episode coming up on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, I'll be doing a Raw and SmackDown, or a go-home Raw and SmackDown review, like in podcast form. On Thursday will be my WrestleMania Q&A, and then on Friday, I'm going to do predictions. So really, next week, you have 3 podcasts coming to you. So I figured, you know what? I'm just too busy. I'm skipping this week. There's not a whole lot to discuss anyway, and it would really save me some time if I didn't have to worry about wasting 1 or 2 of my days putting together that podcast, because I still have a lot to do, and I still have a lot of stuff to finish up with the Q&A next week and all of that. So I figured I'd come up here now to talk about just some WrestleMania news, WWE news, what we've been seeing on Raw and SmackDown, and any new information leading into WrestleMania. We got a couple of new matches announced, and some rumors, and all sorts of stuff. So those of you who were here on Monday night, you guys joined me to watch Raw. We watched that together. It wasn't that much. I mean, the beginning segment and the main event were the only really significant things that took place. And Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, of course, had the segment at the beginning where it was almost a carbon copy, sort of what they did the week before. It was just Roman Reigns getting his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar. And that was all pretty well done. I mean, Roman took a hell of a beating. I was surprised how many people were complaining that Roman Reigns didn't take the week off to sell the injuries, and oh my god, they're making him look strong. Roman Reigns had a chair in his hand, and he still did not get 1 single ounce of offense in. He didn't even throw a punch, and he came at Brock with a weapon, and Brock beat the shit out of him. So I don't know where these fans make up these dumb things to complain about, but give me a break. Roman went out there and took an ass kicking for the 2nd straight week, and sold his ass off and took a couple of really good stare shots. Roman knows how to sell those stairs really well. So I really had no problem with that segment, and plus it keeps keeps with the theme that Roman Reigns, no matter what, is going to be there every week. So I'm sure next week he'll hobble out there again, maybe only to get killed one more time, and then of course he'll probably beat Brock at WrestleMania. So that segment wasn't horrible, but the main event was pretty bad. I mean, they actually went with Kane and The Undertaker in the main event, and it was not much going on there either. We knew Cena was going to win. I'm sorry, did I say Kane and The Undertaker? I meant Kane and Cena. Kane and Cena were in the main event. We knew Cena was going to AA and pin Kane, and we were hoping to see The Undertaker. During the live stream, I was saying to you guys that I really didn't care if they didn't have Taker come out on Monday. I was fine with them waiting until the go-home show, and that's definitely what they're going to do now, and it's still up in the air as to whether or not we physically see The Undertaker on Raw or not. I think we're definitely going to get Cena's challenge answered this Monday, but it might just be a gong or a Titantron type of thing, and they might make us wait until WrestleMania to see which Undertaker we're going to get, whether it's the Dead Man or it's the American Badass or whatever. So we're going to get that next week. Next week's go-home show should be fun. I think Raw and SmackDown really need to come through next week, and I'm hoping for some good stuff. I'm even separating out the review into two podcasts. Like I said, I'm going to do Raw and SmackDown on one podcast, and then I'm going to do a completely separate one for WrestleMania predictions. That way I'm not combining this into a giant 2-hour-long podcast. But I'm really looking forward to next week. You are going to get tired of Good Mic Work, which is why I figured missing this week's episode wouldn't be that big of a deal. Aside from that on Raw, nothing really else great. I guess we saw a Sasha Banks heel turn. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. They had the little brawl backstage with her and Bayley, and she kind of threw the first punch, and she attacked first, and I don't know if that means she's full-fledged heel or what the hell it means, but I think both ladies are going to be involved in the Battle Royal, and that's probably it at WrestleMania. And aside from that, the only other segment that I found really entertaining was the Miz TV segment with Balor and Seth, the way the Miztourage set up the two of those guys to get their asses kicked, and I really enjoyed that too. So that's pretty much all we saw on Raw. It was not really that great of a show. A lot of you guys gave it a very, very poor rating, in all the reviews that I saw. So we might as well move on to SmackDown now. I'm kind of reading some of these comments here in the chat. What's up, everybody? Thank you for saying hello. Jeffrey Hume, thanks. Congrats on 17K. Thanks. I'm pushing 18K now, so that's our next goal. I'm just a couple of hundred away from that. So y'all hook me up and subscribe if you have not yet already. I guess as far as SmackDown goes last night, I did have to work. I was peeking at it at my phone, and I watched most of the replay on the internet, and I even watched a couple of clips on WWE's YouTube channel, and I just tweeted them a couple of minutes ago. Do you guys ever watch SmackDown or Raw clips on WWE's YouTube channel? Do you ever notice at the end of it, their end screen music, the last 20 seconds, is incredibly loud? Whoever's editing these fucking videos needs to turn that shit down. I just tweeted at WWE yelling at them, because whenever I'm watching one of those clips, when it's over, this music is blaring in my fucking ear, and it pisses me off. So I watched a lot of SmackDown on YouTube, but I did check out the full show and skim through it as well. But Daniel Bryan officially challenged Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That was probably the biggest news to come out of SmackDown, and he did, in fact, challenge them to a tag team match. So I guess it is going to be Shane and Daniel Bryan. At least that's what they're telling us. But there was the reports that Shane McMahon was in the hospital for a hernia and diverticulitis and all this really gnarly shit. And I don't know how the hell he's going to be able to get himself ready for WrestleMania, but apparently he's good to go. I mean, that really broke my heart when I heard that news, because I don't want Shane to miss this match. I don't want Daniel Bryan's first match back to have a monkey wrench thrown into it. So unless Shane is injured and they're going to do an angle next week where he's written off or he's replaced, I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, because Daniel Bryan doesn't need a mystery partner. This is the same argument I have with Braun Strowman. I don't want Braun Strowman to bring back some surprise. I don't want him to bring in Samoa Joe or Jeff Hardy or Dean Ambrose or somebody like that, somebody that's going to take the spotlight away from him. And if Daniel Bryan now has some sort of a mystery partner, and you go with somebody like Chris Jericho or The Rock or some shit like that, they're going to take the spotlight off of Bryan, and I don't want to see that. So if Shane can't go, I think you got to put a random roster member in there with Daniel Bryan. You got to make it Dolph Ziggler, or somebody like that. Somebody that's not going to completely overshadow Daniel Bryan's return to the ring. So I'm hoping that Shane McMahon is at least healthy enough to get in the ring and do some work at WrestleMania, and hopefully he will be there. But judging from, the medical reports that we were hearing, or at least what WWE was reporting, I don't know how Shane can even be ready in a week and a half. But I guess he's going to be there as of right now, and we'll find out next week. And speaking of Daniel Bryan, he was talking on SmackDown about, having to wear his little cardigan or his sports coat, being the GM, and he took it off and shed that, kind of skin. And you got to wonder now, after WrestleMania, are we going to get a new GM of SmackDown? It seems like we have to. If Daniel Bryan is back on the roster and he's an active competitor, he can't be the GM. So there's been a lot of rumors that Hulk Hogan could wind up being that guy. Now, we do know that Hogan has been in talks with WWE. I've said right from the start that I think he eventually will come back. It would surprise me, however, if they put him in the GM role. I don't know if that's the best role for Hulk Hogan. I mean, that's going to have to put him out there every week. Hulk Hogan, at his age now, he's not the best at cutting promos. He's probably about as good as Kurt Angle, to be honest with you, but he tends to botch a lot of things. And don't forget, back at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, he didn't know where the hell he was. He thought he was in Detroit. So I don't know if Hogan could even... I don't know if he could even get angles over on TV. I'm not sure. But if he came back and became the GM, why not? At least it's a big name. At least it's somebody that can, fill the shoes of somebody like a Daniel Bryan as far as name recognition goes. But if it's not Hulk Hogan, it could be Jeff Jarrett. It could be some legend that currently works for the WWE. I don't even know. And you got to wonder if the same thing is going to happen on the Raw side with Kurt Angle, because he's in the ring fighting his bosses. So how long can he be the GM on Raw? So it looks like we might need 2 new GMs. At some point, maybe SmackDown first and then Raw down the line. I really don't know. But if Shane is good to go, my question is, what do they do in this match? And that's what I want to hear from you guys here in the chat. If the match goes off without a hitch, Shane is healthy, and he can go into this tag team match. They have a stipulation in this match as well that Daniel Bryan announced, and that is he's giving Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn one more opportunity. And that opportunity is if they win and they beat Bryan and Shane, then they are reinstated. But if they lose, they remain fired from the SmackDown brand. So what do you do here? Do you really have Daniel Bryan lose his first match back? Is that what you do? I mean, at least it's good that he's across the ring from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, because if it was Cena or Reigns or somebody like that and they beat Bryan in his return match, fans are going to shit a live baby right in their living room. But with those guys, the fans at least might be able to accept them winning, and plus it quote-unquote reinstates them, where if Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon win, they're fired. Although Daniel Bryan did say that they are fired from SmackDown. So I guess technically Owens and Zayn could lose and lose their jobs and then be picked up by Monday Night Raw somehow. And then there's also the possibility of the heel turn. There could be a Shane McMahon heel turn or something like that on Daniel Bryan, and maybe Shane forms a stable with Owens and Zayn or something, and they beat the hell out of Daniel Bryan, and that sets up the next couple of months of TV and pay-per-view for Daniel Bryan, because he can face Owens one-on-one at a pay-per-view and get him and beat him, and then he can face Zayn one-on-one at a pay-per-view or maybe on SmackDown and defeat him, and then it'll culminate with Daniel Bryan facing Shane McMahon one-on-one at some point, maybe the June pay-per-view or the July pay-per-view, and then we're into SummerSlam, and maybe Daniel Bryan can get a title shot when SummerSlam rolls around. So, like to hear what you guys think about that. I guess the match could go either way there, but I would like, as a Daniel Bryan fan, and him returning to New Orleans where he won the world title, I cannot imagine this guy, after not being in the ring for over 2 years, losing his return match. That would be absolutely absurd, but it might be the only way to get out of this situation, especially with Shane McMahon. And maybe the whole thing turns out to be a ruse, and here we thought Daniel Bryan was more on the side of Owens and Zayn, and Shane was the one that hated them, and it turns out that Shane was in on it all along. It would be very typical McMahon. We've seen this many times. It doesn't make any sense for Shane McMahon to turn heel and join Owens and Zayn, but it didn't make a lot of sense when Shane turned on his dad in 1998, only to turn on Austin in the tournament, and, they've done this shit, left and right. Vince McMahon was feuding with The Undertaker. Undertaker's kidnapping his daughter and burning teddy bears, and then Vince turns out to be the higher power? What the fuck is that? So I guess if Shane does turn heel here, it wouldn't be lacking that much wrestling logic, because nothing with the McMahons ever makes sense, but I don't know if I want to see Daniel Bryan lose his first match. That would suck, although it would get a ton of heat. Oh man, could you imagine? If Daniel Bryan takes the pin, 1, 2, 3, the fans are going to be pissed off. And then after the match, Shane, Owens, and Zayn beat the hell out of Daniel Bryan. Might be good. No, sorry, Nick Webb. This is a very casual chat, and I can't even stay up here very long, so no fuck, marry, kills today. I'm not even on camera. You guys can't see my cats, who are both in the counter behind me here. And plus, I'm not camera ready. I haven't done my hair or makeup or anything like that. And I'm just sitting here chilling like a lazy piece of shit. And I'm about to head to work soon. So that's kind of where we stand with the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania match situation, and I'm hoping that next week we don't get any last-minute replacement for Shane McMahon. So if anybody has any confirmation on what the deal with Shane is, if he actually is going to be okay, or if this whole thing is a work, we still don't even know that. Shane might not be injured at all. It might just be him being in the hospital might just be selling the beatdown from Owens and Zayn. I don't even know. But that's pretty much the most significant thing that we saw take place on SmackDown. Aside from that, reading my notes here, we had Rusev and Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton and Bobby Roode in a tag team match. I think that opened the show. And then after the match, backstage, Rusev is demanding that he is inserted into the U.S. title match. And I don't know if that's official yet. I haven't seen anything. But it looks like that match might become a four-way now, which is good, because Raw already has a triple threat, and at least this way, it's not too much of a copy of what Raw is doing, and it puts Rusev in a title match. And normally, I would never pick Rusev to win in this situation, because, you know, WWE, even though he's over with the Rusev Day, they don't do anything with him. But at WrestleMania, man, how about that? You know, how about that? What if he came out and surprised everybody? Here we thought it was going to be Orton and Roode and Jinder and this whole issue, and then Rusev sneaks in the back door and wins the belt at WrestleMania. What a better spot for that. You know, a Rusev Day celebration. Aiden English can sing. It would be glorious, no pun intended, Bobby Roode, if that happens. So if Rusev is inserted into the match, I'm not going to automatically rule him out to win. I know a lot of fans will, but sometimes WWE does the right thing at WrestleMania. Sometimes they listen to the audience. They did that 4 years ago with Daniel Bryan. Maybe they insert Rusev into the situation and he comes out with the belt when none of us expected him to. I would love to see that. And we also had the tag team title match, I believe, announced as well for Mania, and that's going to be the Usos, New Day, and Bludgeon Brothers in a triple threat, and we kind of had a feeling that's what was going to happen. Greg the Barber Morgan, yeah, you guys can't see my hair right now. It's really messed up. But that's really it for SmackDown Live. I mean, there's nothing really else to talk about there. Charlotte did miss the mixed match challenge. I believe they're finally to the finals of this thing. The reports are that she was injured, but it turns out it was some dental surgery, some oral surgery, which that's a huge relief because that's not going to keep her out of her match with Asuka, but I guess it was enough to keep her out of the mixed match challenge. Bobby Roode, I think, replaced her with Becky Lynch, and they won. And so you guys got to correct me if I'm wrong here because I don't have my notes or I don't have anything on the internet pulled up here, but I think the finals are Miz and Asuka and Roode and Charlotte. So that's a nice little preview to WrestleMania. And as far as who wins, I think you got to go with Miz and Asuka because Asuka is still undefeated. They probably want to push that. And hell, Charlotte even missed one of her matches. And does anybody know when the finals of that is supposed to take place? Is that going to be next week? We know it's not going to be at WrestleMania. So I guess it's going to be after the Go Home SmackDown. Next week is when I'm guessing that's going to take place. But I'm really relieved to hear that Charlotte is not in any danger of missing her WrestleMania match. And as of right now, it doesn't look like Shane is either, although that could change. So those are probably pretty much the key points I wanted to mention there. There's also been some really big Rock rumors this week. I've said all along that I think The Rock is going to appear at WrestleMania. He hasn't come out and said that he's not, you know, and normally if he's not going to be there, we generally have a good idea about that, or we know he's not going to be there. And he doesn't have to wrestle, and he probably can't because of the movie he's filming or whatever, and insurance purposes and reasons like that. But if he comes back and makes an appearance, I said a month ago that I would love for him to do a segment with Elias in the middle of the ring with the guitars and have a sing-along or something like that. Maybe something a little bit more fun than what he did at WrestleMania 32. Because his entrance at WrestleMania 32 took like 15 minutes, didn't it? He was out there with the flame gun and he set his name on fire and did all that shit. It was very cool, but it was like, Jesus, this is going on forever. So, you know, for The Rock to appear at WrestleMania, I think is an absolute must. I think he can either do a segment with Elias, throw in Chris Jericho if he's available, maybe even Aiden English and Rusev or guys like that. Or you can have The Rock show up in the Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle match with Stephanie and Triple H, because that would make the most sense. The Rock set this whole thing up at WrestleMania 31. So he should at least maybe come out and throw a rock bottom at somebody and maybe help Angle and Rousey win, and that might help the cheers a little bit with Ronda Rousey, because right now the fans are not into her, and she's kind of boring so far. So if you get The Rock out there to maybe attempt what you did with Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble in Philly a few years ago, when The Rock came out in the attempt to get Roman cheered, but it didn't work, I think it will work with Rousey. I think the fans will be happy enough to see The Rock and to see him there. And I hope he's there to do something. I hope we see Stone Cold Steve Austin. I might even want to see Hulk Hogan. I don't know if they bring Hogan in at Mania or they maybe wait till after. I don't know. But I really want The Rock to have a presence on the show, because he was not there last year, right? So he's due. Get your ass back here, Rock. And maybe next year you can actually have a match and then retire and go into the Hall of Fame. How come every time I do a live show, we always get Haku mentions in the chat? And you know what? I'm curious, since it's in the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday, I'm curious what our audience is. 122 people. It's bigger than I thought. It's not like this is a Monday night where we got hundreds of you in here. And I just announced that I was coming up live about an hour ago on Twitter. So I appreciate everybody stopping by to check out this video. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. And just give you guys my schedule for next week, let you know when you can start hearing from me. I'm going to be all over the place. I mentioned what I'm going to be doing each and every day. Next week, I got a couple of special videos. I've got three or four live streams planned and 3 podcasts for a grand total of about 9 videos, 9 days in a row that you're going to get me on. So next week's going to be a lot of fun, but this week I've got to finish up doing everything for next week. I'm extremely busy at work. It's a holiday weekend. I'm going to a baseball game tomorrow. I am just overwhelmed as hell right now. So that's why I decided no episode 491 this week. We'll wait till next week, because I got a lot of shit coming to you. And like I also said in the beginning of the video, for those of you who might just be tuning in now, if you do want your GoodMicWork fix, TVTrax will have my Q&A up on his channel probably tomorrow or Friday. And I'm going to finish up that audio and edit it tonight and send it over to him, and he'll probably have it up on his channel. I'm guessing by tomorrow, but it could take as long as Friday, and I do have a link to Trax's channel right here in the top right-hand corner of the screen. I believe it's down on the bottom of the cards there, so go give him a sub, and keep a lookout for that video tomorrow. Other than that, that's all I really have written down in my notes that I wanted to discuss with you. I need to be getting out of here pretty soon, but I will hang around here for a couple of minutes and chat if you guys want to ask any questions in the chat, or if there's anything else you want me to discuss, anything that I missed, any other big stories out there in wrestling right now that I failed to mention a minute ago. We've got the WrestleMania card, I think, is set now. I think all the matches are set except for Taker and Cena, which we'll get next week. But every other one has now been set. The Battle Royals are coming together. They've pretty much thrown it. They've pretty much given it all to us. And the next week we'll just plug all the gaps, fill in all the holes, and hell, then it's WrestleMania time. I took off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday next week for WrestleMania. So I'll be up here on Friday night watching the Hall of Fame. It's on Friday, right? The Hall of Fame is Friday, and then I think NXT is Saturday, correct? So I'll be up here on Friday to watch the Hall of Fame. I'll live tweet throughout the whole thing. I'll come up and do a live review of the Hall of Fame after that. And then on Saturday, I'm thinking I might do a live NXT reaction, kind of like how I do the Monday Night Raws. I'll pull up NXT on the network and react to it, and we'll watch it together. And then on Sunday, I might come up here early in the morning with like a small 20-minute live stream, something like this, where we'll do one final preview for WrestleMania, talk about any last-minute predictions, things like that, and then I'll watch the entire show and live tweet, and then I'll be up here immediately after WrestleMania. As soon as the 3 count hits in the main event, I will be going live on YouTube after WrestleMania, and we'll talk for a few hours about the show. And then the next night is the post-Mania Raw, which I'll be up here reacting to that too. So I'm telling you, you guys are going to be so fucking tired of me. I'm going to give you about 20 hours of content next week, and it's going to be crazy. And a lot of those hours is just going to be me sitting here reacting to shit. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be fun. So, oh, you know what? There's a good question there in the chat, and that's something I brought up, I think, on my live stream on Monday, is that what the hell is Bray Wyatt going to be doing at WrestleMania. He is, buried in the lake of reincarnation. Supposedly, he might be getting a repackage, but what that means is that he won't be at WrestleMania, and I would hate that for him. Last year, he was WWE Champion going into the show. This year, he's not on the card. That sucks. So I hope that Bray Wyatt, part of me hopes that he can find his way onto the show, but then that's going to completely kill whatever repackage he's going to have. Unless they bring out the repackaged Bray at WrestleMania, but Matt Hardy is only involved in the Battle Royal, so Matt Hardy can easily get eliminated on his own. He's not going to need Bray Wyatt out there to distract him. Or maybe you can bring Bray Wyatt back as that repackaged gimmick, maybe Sister Abigail, and he can win the Battle Royal. That's possible. But again, it's not a Royal Rumble. It's not like one participant enters one at a time. They're all in there together, so it's going to have to be, some kind of a surprise. So I don't know what they're going to do with Bray Wyatt, but right now he might not even be on the show, which sucks. You guys shut up about Haku. Give me a break, musical baritone. It's not even that funny anymore. It was funny 2 months ago, but get over yourselves. What else should I talk about, dudes, before I get out of here? I thought I'd talk for about 30 minutes, and we've been going for just about that now. We've got a couple of Nia Jax comments in here. Will she win at WrestleMania? Right now, I would say yes, but then again, I don't know if we're going to see both ladies' belts change hands. Maybe Carmella plays a role somewhere. She can either, God forbid, end Asuka's streak after Asuka beats Charlotte for the belt and win the title, cashing in the Money in the Bank, or she can surprise us all and show up in the Raw match and beat Alexa or Nia Jax or whatever and win the belt over there. I really don't know what they're going to do, and I really don't care what they do with Carmella. I think the only thing I don't want to see is for Asuka to win the belt and then her streak to be ended by Carmella. Anything else other than that, I'm fine with. I'm fine with Charlotte ending the streak. I don't give a shit. What do I care? I just don't want to see Carmella do it. That's my only thing. So that's a match, I think, when you look at the WrestleMania card. I'm surprised how many people tell me that they're not looking forward to this year's WrestleMania. Sometimes I don't know what the hell the fans want. I mean, Jesus, when you look at this card on paper, it's one of the better-looking WrestleManias that we've had in a long time. I mean, we've got Ronda Rousey having a match at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan is returning. We have a Dream women's match with Charlotte and Asuka. We have a Dream men's match with AJ and Shinsuke. And, of course, Roman and Brock, I've said all along, will probably surprise a lot of people. And I think the match itself will be good. But the fans aren't going to care. It doesn't matter how good it is. Fans are going to be pissed when Roman Reigns wins. But overall, like, when you just look at the card on paper, it's not horrible. The IC match has potential to be fun. And Braun Strowman's match has the potential to be fun. We're going to see some surprises, because Braun Strowman apparently is going to have a tag team partner, and we've got a lot of injured stars right now that could be ready to come back pretty soon. I think of guys like Jeff Hardy. I think of Dean Ambrose. I think of Samoa Joe. I have no idea what Big Cass's injury status is. I really don't want to see him return at WrestleMania, but he's probably getting close to returning in the next couple of months. So, and of course we've got The Undertaker and John Cena match as well, which we should get announced this week on Raw. And we might get an American Badass return at WrestleMania. So really, when you look at it, it really baffles me how people can actually complain about this WrestleMania. What else do you want WWE to give you? Are you really that mad about Roman Reigns that you're willing to just say the whole show sucks because of it? Don't forget, they are giving us AJ and Nakamura. I mean, that's a match we've all wanted to see, and it's for a title. It's not like it's a random match on the kickoff show. It's for the WWE title. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? So I think WrestleMania is looking just fine, and I enjoyed last year's WrestleMania. 32 sucked, but 33 last year was very good. And I think right now, judging from the show on paper, I think this WrestleMania can be good too. It might not be, but I'd be willing to bet that it would be. And don't forget, we might get The Rock showing up as well. So there's all sorts of great shit going on at WrestleMania this year, and I'm looking forward to it. Even though the Hall of Fame class isn't the strongest we've ever seen, I'm looking forward to that as well. And I think TakeOver is going to be a lot of fun on Saturday night. So it's going to be a fun weekend, man. I say we all kick back and relax and make the best of it. Try to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So that's probably going to be it for me. I'm going to head out of here now that I've been going over 30 minutes. I'm just going to read through the chat here and see if there's anything else I need to mention according to you guys. Pooty123, WrestleMania commentary, is it up? You mean my Q&A? My Q&A will not be up until next Thursday, so it'll be up a week from tomorrow is the day I have planned for the Q&A. But my TVTrax Q&A will be up probably tomorrow or Friday, so keep a look for that over there. I still got my WrestleMania Memories commentary. The 7-hour-long job is up on my channel right now. You can check that out in the meantime. Oh yeah, Tito's going to win all the belts? Yeah, little bastard. I don't even know where he is right now. Luckily, he's nowhere near us. A couple of weeks ago, he laid on my power strip and shut off the entire live stream right in the middle of it. So he's kind of in timeout right now. Xandar, I discussed that on social media, and you will hear something about that in my TVTrax Q&A. I did give Salamonster a really nice shout-out. He, of course, unfortunately lost his mother just a couple of days ago. Very sad. Everybody showed him a ton of love on social media, and I let him know that I was thinking about him, and I tweeted him, and I emailed him. And I'll mention something about that in my Trax Q&A. I did give him a little bit of a shout-out. What else we got in the chat here? Chair of wheels or mower of lawn. I also liked, how did Matt Hardy phrase the eighth wonder of the world? The world of wonders of which he is the eighth, or whatever the hell he said. That was really funny. The stage of the grandest, he said. I kind of enjoyed his little promo on Raw, even though all he did was announce that he's going to be in the Battle Royal. It was just the way he worded it I thought was really funny. And I hope WWE can capitalize on the success of the Ultimate Deletion. They did succeed in that. We were all worried it would suck, but fans gave it an overwhelming positive response. And I really hope that, it can continue beyond this, and it wasn't just a one-time deal, and then it's over with, and Matt Hardy's back to doing stupid shit on Raw. So I would like to see him have a little bit of a presence at WrestleMania, too. Maybe Matt Hardy can win the Battle Royal. Why not? Matt Hardy winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, cutting a promo after it, that might be fun. I'd be fine with that. I mean, anything's got to be better than last year with Mojo Rawley and all that shit. So I'm hoping that maybe Daniel Bryan wins, or somebody fun, or somebody that we want to see win it. Hopefully they win it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like an up-and-coming guy. I know with Baron Corbin winning in recent years, and Cesaro and Mojo, that's kind of the point. But they've also had Big Show win it, right? And now maybe it could be Matt Hardy or a veteran. I really don't care. So, the Giant Andre. That's funny. And the funny thing is, Andre's, I'm going to be busy after WrestleMania too, because I think the day after WrestleMania, I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday after WrestleMania, the Andre the Giant documentary on HBO comes out. And that's going to be right on the 8-year anniversary of me being on YouTube. So I'm going to try to scramble, and after all of the WrestleMania festivities, and as exhausted as I'm probably going to be, I'm going to try to watch that documentary and get up here and review it ASAP. So hopefully it can coincide with my 8-year anniversary, but I have a feeling it's going to wind up being a day or two later than that. But yeah, we got a busy few days, man. I mean, this is going to be the last time you guys hear from me until Sunday, but once we get to Sunday, it's going to be balls to the wall every single day. You're going to hear from my ass. So I hope you guys are ready. I'm about to sign off here. I am just scrolling through a little bit of the chat here and see if there's anything else I need to mention or that I forgot. Thanks again, guys, for hanging out and watching this live stream. It's kind of just thrown together, and I wanted to come up here and give you guys something and give you an explanation as to why I was not going to be up here for my normal podcast this week. I've just got too much going on, and WWE did me a favor by having kind of a lackluster Raw and SmackDown. That way there's not a whole lot to talk about anyway. So you guys aren't missing anything. And I'll be up here every damn day next week. So I think that is it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. I've got some things to do, and I got to head to work in about an hour. And then I've got a long few days ahead of me. So you guys take care. Have a good rest of your day. After this is uploaded, go ahead and leave anything else you want to talk about in the chat or in the comments down below. And I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. So have a good rest of your week and weekend, and get ready this coming Sunday for my first of about 9 or 10 videos in a row that I'm going to be uploading to YouTube. I will talk to you in just a couple days. You guys take care. Peace.